Hi everyone, just a very quick video on core plugs, core plugs or freeze plugs. The Ford Focus here last year, and I was having loads of misfiring, and it turned out that when I took the cover off, some of these freeze plugs had popped. You can see one there between the two spark plugs and another one over there, only this one here is a bit more interesting because I was trying to replace that one numerous times with brass core plugs, stainless steel core plugs. I was tapping them in flush, I was tapping them in a bit below, I was leaving it a little bit proud, and no matter what I did, no matter what sealant I was using, Durco red, Hydamar blue, no matter what I used, what I did, or no sealant at all. In fact, it would always leak. It would always sort of start leaking coolant out, and then it would all start misfiring again. And at one point, it blew right out, and I completely, flooded the entire engine with coolant. And I started to think, oh, have I got a blown head gasket? Because they're like additional gas pressure getting in, which is making it pop or something along those lines. But the car was old, and in a desperate attempt, I saw this product by a company called Dorman, Dorman, from the States. And they have these, that's one down there, like what they call expansion plugs. And essentially it's just a sort of a rubber bung with a washer and a bolt going through, and when you tighten down, the rubber bung expands to kind of grip the cavity well. And I was a little bit skeptical, but anyway, I bought one, and it took a while to come from the States. It's only cheap, 3 or 4 quid, but the delivery was most of it, and gave it a go. And over a year later, I'm still having car trouble, but it's definitely nothing to do with the plugs. So yeah, my experience, at least with these expansion plugs, has been pretty good. It's been in there for a year, so if you've got an old motor which you just want to keep going for a year or two longer, and you're having trouble with your core plugs, maybe consider these rubber expansion plugs. Like I said, this is from a company called Dorman. Maybe you can get other ones. Couldn't find them anywhere in the UK. I started actually looking to try and make my own at one point. I bought these sort of rubber bungs from some sort of what's this, EPDM. So yeah, try and find some material which is able to withstand the temperatures and perhaps the chemicals and stuff of the coolant. And I was looking at getting a washer's either end and a bolt and doing my own job on it. So perhaps there's some way you could kind of DIY your own if you found them really useful, for a bit cheaper and spending 9 quid to get it over from the States on delivery. But otherwise, just pick one up. I think I found one on eBay. Only one last comment I would make on these expansion plugs, these rubber expansion plugs, is that once they're in, they're in. So that's one there, and the rubber on it was quite deep, so when I put it into the hole, basically, I was a little bit concerned that I might have been blocking one of the sort of channels for coolant. I know the whole reason for core plugs is when they cast the engine, you're left with holes, but I think they kind of double up as coolant flow channels, and I was a little bit concerned that this bung was so sort of deep, like an inch thick or whatever, thicker than the actual, the types that I should have used, this type, that I may have actually blocked one of the coolant channels. So I tried to remove it to check that, but for the life of me I couldn't remove it, because as I was trying to spin the nut, the kind of, basically it was just spinning on the inside of the engine, if you know what I mean, and I couldn't get a grip. Maybe some sort of impact driver or something would whack it off, but if you have a good YouTube around, you'll see that plenty of people are having trouble in getting these expansion plugs out whilst they're in. It can be done, but it's not easy. So just make sure that it's the right fit, and you're not going to go blocking any channels before you bung it in there. But yeah, I just kept on going with it. and it's lasted the duration, and if anything the car's going to fail on something else now, so an ongoing saga, as I'm sure we all know. But yeah, I was pretty pleased with it. It's lasted well, you know. It's done over a year now. I don't know, maybe I'll get another year out of it. It's starting to look a little bit worn down there, isn't it? But it got me out of a sticky situation at the time. Expansion core plugs from Dorman. If you run into trouble, maybe check them out. Cheers.